Hello, in this video I am going to share with you my ayahuasca experience, which by the way was the best experience that I ever had it with ayahuasca. That was my fourth time that I had that experience with the plant medicine, and that happened 2 months ago. And I've been receiving a lot of questions about it. Hey Amanda, how was it? How the experience looks like? And I'm gonna be answering those questions at the end of this video. But first, I just would like to express how was it my experience? What did I learn from that? And why did I choose to do ayahuasca? And by the way, that happened in here in the United States where I do live. And the first thing that people say, but are you allowed to have this experience in here? Yes, you are. It is legal under the church environment, under the church practice. And every place is gonna have their own rules, their own way of like leader the experience. So be aware about the place that you choose because it's very important. I would say that's the first thing that you need to look for it. It's a safe space for me to have this experience. Who are the leaders? How they accommodated us? What is the rules? They follow a nutrition, and also how do I integrate that? That is any guidance on that? All of those questions you need to be able to research for it, find answers for them to make a decision for your own process. This time I choose to make it the plant medicine in here because I was not able to go to Brazil, which it is the place that I usually take my plant medicine, and I was not going to be able to go over there. That was one of the reasons that I decided to have the experience in here. And the place that I choose was very beautiful because also it is the place that I had my clients that I do plant medicine integration, which I just guide them before the process and after the process. And in this place, only you go by referral. That is not like an open place that everybody can go over there. That is another thing. You need to check if the place is something commercial. If it is some place that you're going to be able to experience that not in a big group, but I would say a small group, because this way there is a lot of energy going on at the same time, and you need to be able to hold a space for you, because if you don't know how to perceive with this experience, if you're new for it, you need to have someone to watch for you, to give you a guidance. And if that is a lot of people, you're not gonna have that kind of support. So be aware about that. Yes, that was the best experience of my life, and I was ready for it. Were myself feeling fearful? Yes, for the first time actually, because the other times I was just looking for the answers, looking to my personal growth, my spiritual growth, but it was different. And the last time that I did it was back in 2022, and I did it back in Rio de Janeiro with the Ayahuasca tribe, and was like phenomenal as well, but pretty much different than this time. And people ask me, what was the difference about it? Okay, first was in my culture, even though people were speaking in English, because we had so many people from United States, from Europe, and so the ceremony was guided by a Brazilian person, but we had it translated on that. But I would say the atmosphere to be in my country, and the place was on Petropolis, the mountains, and we had like the river over there, and we couldn't the food. Of course, the food was everything natural, everything from like the place, and with the tribe, the shamanic energy, from like Amazon, really traditional, authentic, but everybody's authentic in a way. But I just say like I couldn't experience that. And so in that time, I was in a level of consciousness totally different than the one that I am as right now. In that time, my nutrition was not that clear, and I was just in my process, right? Back in there, I was a hypnotherapist already. And so in that moment was more about release anger, allowing myself to really reframe that feeling, or to feel, to let it go, which is just like the same for me, reframing and letting go. That happened at the same time for me, because you can only reframe something if you allow yourself to feel. And as I was suppressing and repressing anger, in that moment, that's when I acknowledge, but also it's something that I projecting, that I don't want to feel that energy because it's something bad. And actually that is nothing bad, and that is nothing good. That is what it is. But we acknowledge things as we have that perception about that subject. I hope that it's making sense for you. And so that was my experience with that, and was phenomenal. And another thing that people ask, oh, do you purge? Do you go into vomit? Do you go into the bathroom? Yes, you're going to be doing that, of course, if you allow yourself for that. That is another thing also, because whenever I say allow, because I mean, nobody likes to throw. Nobody likes to vomit and go to the bathroom, and especially in this kind of like experience, because they feel like, oh, I don't want it. They feel intimidated. But that is a good thing actually, for you to purge, because when you purge, when you let it go, and when you surrender, that's when the experiences start to happen, like the transformation. Because in that moment, you are able just to embrace and stop the resistance, and just to allow the flow, and allow the healing to come through. And so that's how happened my time back in Brazil. It was very nice, and all the time, whenever I was going outside, I was looking to the sky, and I was saying like, this is so beautiful. And it was a way of myself be motivated, just to, okay, you need to throw. But what else can you do in that moment? Okay, I'm gonna appreciate the sky, and I was appreciating the sky, so it was more a motivation for me to go outside to throw and just to see the beautiful sky. So everybody's gonna have their own unique way of doing things. And another thing that I used to do it is just like talk with my vomit. I say, hey, thank you, I appreciate you to being here, because those patterns, those are energy, those are emotions, feelings that we've been holding for so long. So they have been very attached to our body. And then in that moment, it's good for you to talk with your body, these parts, and just like encourage them. Just like, hey, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. That's me, okay? I appreciate you, but now it's time to let it go. And I was like, please, go. And I always just having that introspective moment and dialogue. That's how I found myself just to really embrace and to navigate better on it. That was my experience in that time, 2022. I felt the call and then I did it. This time, and that happened last month, and I decided to do it because I had this breakup with my relationship, and my old patterns used to be like to walk away, isolated myself, or even to focus on working. So this way I don't allow myself to feel the pain. I don't allow myself to feel the hurt. I don't allow myself to feel the sadness, the frustration. And I was seeing myself going towards to my old patterns. And I mean, I've been working with clients, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I could not suppress or repress anymore, but I was seeing myself coming back to that place again. And that's when I say, well, I need help. And because I apply my tools on the daily basis when I need, but got to the point that my tools was not enough for me to break through. And also I do a quantum therapy, which is go to my conscious minds and break up patterns and all of that. And so, but for this time, for me to really break through, I need to do ayahuasca. That's when I felt the call again. And that is interesting because after 2022, 6 months later, that's when I found my ex-partner. And so for this time, I felt the call after we break up. And that is very interesting, the dynamic, how that goes with our own process, because you experience whatever you need to experience with a certain person, with like that kind of environment. Everything has a time for you to be in that situation, for you to progress, for you to have transformation. You just need to find your own time. And that was the time again for me to experience ayahuasca. And so that's when I found the place for me to do it. And actually this place, it is the place that I had at my clients, as I mentioned to you, they come from that place. And I was like, okay, I am doing this. And I got in touch with them. And let me tell you, my ego was resistant in a way, because as I know that my energy, it's very strong. It's very loud, as you can see it, right? And so for me, I feel more comfortable with shamanic energy. And I experienced before in my previous time a different dynamic with ayahuasca, so I know how that looks like my energy. But in that moment that I was getting in touch with like the place, the church, I asked, what is the kind of music that you guys have? What is this? What is that? I was making a lot of questions. And of course, nowadays I know, because later that's when I have the realization. But yeah, it was my ego in a way to try to prevent myself to have that experience. It was the fear. Hey, is this place having this? Is the music? I was concerning more about the music, because whenever I'm having the experience with ayahuasca, I just allow my body to move, allow myself to be in that space. And so I start doing things with my hands, moving the energy. And that is this place that they didn't allow myself to move my hands. And because of that, I was researching for this to see, hey, is this place allow myself to do this and that? And so, yes, they answer all of my questions. I did it, the intake form, and then I choose the dates for me to do it. I did it the weekend, which was the 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And let me tell you, before I made the decision right away, break up, and I was like, need help, and I was getting ready for it. But not really getting ready like from my diet, because my diet nowadays is very clear. That happened from my previous ayahuasca. After I came from that retreat, I just cut out processed foods, cheese, milk, sugar. Sugar is a drug, and if you can avoid sugar, trust me, you're going to have a clear direction. You're not going to have like a foggy mind, and you're going to just, be centered and doing everything that you need to do it, and not be addictive to that, because that's the most legal drug that we can have it. So I was working on my diet already. So this time I didn't have to like working on my diet, prevent myself to not do anything. But a few people, they need to work with that, like processed food, and even like sexuality. You cannot have a sex for a month. It's just for you to preserve that energy, for you to have transformation. Because sexual energy, it's the chi, the life force energy, and we don't want it to waste, as we're going to be working with that dynamic and that energy. And whenever I say about wasting, it's just like we're not going to give it away. We're going to retain that energy for us. And for that moment, that's when it's the divine feminine, just nurturing ourselves. And I don't know if you know, but the sexual energy, the orgasm, it's the highest energy that the human can produce, and it's very healing whenever it is intentional on it. Come back to the point, I was feeling fearful, but I was excited, because I knew it, that I was going to break through. I was going to look for something that my soul it's been seeking for a long time, and I knew it. There was going to be something after, right? But the feeling was very interesting, because I didn't have it that before. So I got over there on Friday. I did the interview with Rosalia. She's so sweet. She is very like supportive. She holds a space for you, and she make questions to see what is your intention to do it, which is another thing that I guide my clients, right? So you need to have an intention, and before they go to the retreat, we're going to unfold the patterns. We're going to unfold what they really wanted to work through those 3 days. I had my intention already, and for this moment, for this time, my intention was about heal my parenting relationship, my relationship with my dad, that I suffered abandon and rejection, my relationship with my mom, and also just to open more, to allow myself to connect with the divine feminine energy. That was the main reason for it. And yes, I got over there on Friday, and what I love in this place, it is the fact that you don't have your cell phone. You don't have your cell phone for 3 days, which is amazing. You stay in the cabin by yourself, and you don't talk with people, not at all. For the entire 3 days, you are on your own, and you can have a journal for you to journal about your experience, for you to express everything that you just experienced, right? And actually you have just like an interview with Rosalia and Julio. They do that, so this way they can just guide you, which I think it's nice. But other than that, you don't talk with participants, you don't even look into the eyes. It's just you. So this way the ego doesn't have the opportunity of showing up like, oh, my experience was phenomenal, blah 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 blah. So it's really nice to have that space to like really embrace your experience. And of course, after the third day, after the ceremony, we are able to share and talk and just be there for each other as we are on the 3 days. Even we are not talking, but we are there for each other, because it's the collective energy dynamic. So okay, I got over there, made it the interview, went to my room, and got back to the space that we have at the transformation. And I listened to this right before Julio was saying, like, just embrace it, just let it go, really surrender. That's the most powerful word that I listened to that. surrender to it. And that's what I did it. I really surrender, and then I made it the intention for it. I'm surrendering myself to the Mother Earth to take care of me. And she did it. And that was phenomenal. And I mean, in my first experience, my first night, I had my ego death. I'm not sure if you ever heard about that term, but whenever you have your ego death, it's about you become the observer of who you are, your persona, and all of the patterns that is being holding you, just your resistance for you to get in the flow, for you to really allow your essence, your inner being, your higher self, your soul to be in the place to receive and to reconnect. So in that moment, I was feeling in my body. And here's the thing, right? Everybody has have a different experience. And that is actually the way that whenever we are a kid, our brain imprint the experience. We process informations, experience, and events in our life through our five senses, which it is visual. So I'm gonna explain after. It's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and taste. Visual, it's for visualization, those people that has like, oh, I saw the snake, I saw these, like they really close their eyes and they visualize everything perfect. And it's just like a lucid dream. And it's just like everything, a vivid dream, right? So they're gonna experience that. They're gonna see like dragons. They're gonna see anything that the experience it's unfolding for them. Other people, they are more auditory. They're gonna be listen more. They can close your eyes, but they're gonna be just like listening patterns and just wisdom. They're gonna receive that way, more auditory. Other people are more kinesthetic, like me. I feel in my body. So the entire experience, but half of the experience is going to be on my body. As I am visualizing or I'm having the thoughts of it, I am coming to my body, come down to my body and experiencing my body. And actually we store emotions in our body, right? Thoughts generated emotion in our body. And so in that moment that I was experiencing my ego death, I become the observer of my own life and see my patterns and see why I get so obsessed with something. And I couldn't understand the perfectionism part. And it's just like need to be perfect. You really see or feel, I felt it, my pattern, but I couldn't visualize and see where it is. And I was just like, really? That's how I do. And it's kind of like you torturing yourself, but unconsciously, and you don't realize that because that's who you are. You were based on it, that persona, you created that persona for you to perceive the world, for you to experience life. And because of that, you don't see it. You only experience this when you're looking for, when you wanted to progress in your life, when you wanted to evolve, when you wanted to do something that is just preventing you to achieve, to thrive what you wanted. And then in that moment, I was feeling the pain in my body because it was the detachment of my ego. And I was feeling that pain. And I say, allow it. And as I have my book, right? If you allow it, you can feel it. I really felt it, like what that means. And I was just like, just let it go, and telling myself, let it go. And was exhausted because the ego doesn't want it to die. The ego doesn't want it to lose the place. And actually, you're not losing the place. You actually become more aware about where can you be better, where can you shift patterns, and how can you just be more in your essence, that you can deliver more for you, because you're only able to deliver for others if you are doing for yourself, if you're being compassionate with yourself, if you're just doing the work. And so in that moment, I was just like embracing and just let it go, and have all of that conversation when I finally just surrendered. And after that moment, wow, it was just bliss. I was experiencing wholeness. I was experiencing allness, and all of the connection, all of the, how can I, sometimes English word or even Portuguese word are not enough to experience a feeling, because a feeling is abstract. It's hard to put it in a word, and that's why we have trouble sometimes to experience that, to express that. But it's such a great connection. Thinking about it, I listen to that from like clients and friends whenever they have kids. They feel really connected. They say, wow, that's the best experience of my life. I really felt connected with that being. I think that it is kind of the experience, but even better, because you are connecting with the source. But like I say, once and again, I didn't have that experience. That's my perception, and I can be wrong. And if I'm wrong, that is okay. And I will tell you whenever I had that experience, if I have it in here. But yeah, it was just that connection, come back to source, who you are, love. And the plant medicine has this beautiful dynamic of guiding you through the process. It's just that only happened after you purge. And so I purged, and I was just talking again, hey, it's okay, and just like being in the position, even that for you to purge, that is a position for you to be, for your body to really engage with the action. And it's sometimes the cat and cow. So you put yourself just like a cat, right? And then that's your body just doing the process. And let me tell you, our body, it's so intelligent. It's just, I couldn't experience all of the details in everything in my body, like everything is connected. And after that, I was just appreciating the process, feeling safe and secure, and just looking people around and having even more compassion because they were going through their own process. And that is the beauty of it, because everybody over there, it's going through their own process. And sometimes we're gonna think that somebody's struggling, but not. They are just, that's the beauty of it also, because the plant medicine has such a wisdom to navigate it and to connect everything, every dot. And we help each other even we don't know, but we do, because it's just one force. And it's that force making the entire process for all of us. And so when you think that somebody's struggling, not always, and you just seeing everybody appreciating. Of course, I am not the type of person that I'm just get like trapped, or not trapped, but get like, oh, is this person experience this? Is this person, I do my work. I'm over there to do my work, not to see what people are doing, unless I'm just unless I'm just seeing that the person it's looking for help or something like that. But even that is people over there that they just hold the space for us and all of that. And so after that, and then you go and you have your dinner, and the nutrition over there, it's well balanced, because need to be well balanced for you to receive the medicine, because it's strong. And actually that's the strong, the most strong one that I had it. It's really 1 cup that is enough for you to have the entire experience. And so that was my first day, and I was able to connect with my mom. And whenever I say my ego death, also because I am very empathetic, and typically empathetic people, they are just attached to other people feelings, other people judgments, other people patterns. And in that moment, for me, I couldn't understand my mom going through in her process, and I've been empathetic, and I've been like attached to her baggage, to her pain, to her everything, right? And so what happened with me later, and was unconscious patterns, I was seeking for validation, because as I was abandoned and rejected by my dad, and I created this pattern of I need to be perfect, to be accepted, to be loved, I was always seeking for validation. And whenever I didn't get my validation from others, because I was trying to prove myself that I'm worthy, that I deserve to have people love, or being validated about who I am. And in that moment, that's when I understood that sometimes I got really sad, or just those energies just shift my way of being. And I understood, because I used to feel people energy, and just like be there for them, and having the how to say that, oh, I'm gonna fix this person, and I'm going to do that for that person. It's just, like I say, it's unconscious patterns. And I couldn't really have that experience with my mom and really like detach and not seeking for validation anymore. Can you imagine how huge was this for my life? Because it really was it. Not looking for validation, and just like, okay, that's when I really understood the word, that it's an American expression, which is say, I don't care. And I never liked that, because I mean, how don't you care? You know, and I couldn't understand. I never liked it. I was like, how you don't care? That, and for me in my culture, that is a consideration. You know, we consider each other. And that was like something like, I don't consider yourself, but it was my perception, right? In that moment that I had that experience with my mom, it was just phenomenal. And I detached, and I just like, I now I got it. Now I know, I don't care. That is really when I understood the expression. I was like, I don't care. I love it. Coming to the music. But yes, I don't care. That's not my problem. That's people problem. And if they react with what I'm giving, or about who I am, because I know that I'm not going to please everybody. I know everybody's not going to, you know, be comfortable with my energy or who I am and the way that I present myself. And that is okay. So now I don't need to be attached to there and to look for validation, because that was a freedom. Can you understand that? It's a freedom to not looking for validation. So I feel free. And so this was actually my first experience with ayahuasca. My first day with ayahuasca, and I am going to be doing another video to talk about my second day, and that was pretty much different, but just the process about letting go and the medicine come in and make the work, you know, I will explain. So the first day was an intention that I did it to heal my relationship with my mom. And the second one was with my dad, and was beautiful too. But like I say, I am going to share that in another video, because it's going to be a long video, and I'm going to break down in 3 videos probably. And so yes, thank you for staying here with me, and let me know if you ever had an experience with ayahuasca. If you did not have, comment and ask me questions about anything, because I'm going to be also answer some questions about my clients and friends. And if you wanted to share your own experience with me, I would love to hear, because everybody's different. So we can comment, we can share knowledge and wisdom, so this way we can just be who we are and be able to receive and this way we can help each other and help the community and help everybody. All right, thank you to stay until now with me. And